On Mother's Day in 2020, in the UK, one of the most shocking crimes occurred that left many people who heard about the news truly heartbroken. But for some reason, this was one of those murders that didn't seem to get much publicity, although, in my opinion, it really should have done. This is quite possibly one of the most tragic cases I have covered yet, and it takes place in Bolton in the United Kingdom on the 22nd of March 2020. On this day, the Jones family celebrated Mother's Day. 7-year-old Emily Jones woke up looking forward to spending some time with her mother. Her mum's name was Sarah Barnes, and she was of course still new to the role, so I can imagine that Mother's Day was a rather exciting time for her. During the afternoon, Emily and her father had gone out together. Emily was enjoying a ride on her scooter as they both made their way down to Queen's Park, when all of a sudden, Emily's face lit up. In the distance, she spotted her mother, who was jogging through the Victorian Park. She looked up to her dad and said, Daddy, I want to go over to Mum." And off she went, riding on her scooter, shouting at her mother to notice her. But as she was riding towards her mother, a woman was sitting on a park bench, watching her. And as she went past, this woman stood up, grabbed the small girl and pulled her from her scooter. She then pulled her head back and began to slice her throat. Emily's dad saw the whole thing, but at first, he didn't even realize what this woman had done. He simply assumed that Emily had fallen from her scooter, and that this woman who was sitting on the bench had jumped up to catch her to stop her from hurting herself. He only realized what had happened when he heard someone in the distance shouting what this woman had done. He quickly ran to his daughter's side. Emily was losing a substantial amount of blood, and she wasn't moving. Her father held her, while 2 passers-by came over to try and offer whatever they could do to help. A man took off his t-shirt to try and slow the bleeding, while an off-duty nurse performed CPR. The woman who attacked Emily had tried to run from the scene, but thankfully a member of the public had seen what she had done, and he rugby tackled her to the ground before she could get far away. Emily's mother ran over, and she cradled her daughter, and upon seeing the severity of her injuries, she just cried out and begged her daughter to stay with her. The paramedics quickly arrived at the scene, and Emily was taken by air ambulance to Salford Royal Hospital, where the medical team fought hard to save Emily's life. But unfortunately, it was too late. Emily had gone into cardiac arrest, and she was pronounced dead at 3:56 p.m, with her loving mother by her side. The woman on the bench who took Emily's life that afternoon was named Eltiona Skana. She was a 30-year-old woman who was born in Albania, but came to England in 2014 to claim asylum, and she arrived in the back of a lorry. She had no relationship with the Jones family, and it was a completely random attack. Eltiana went out that day and bought a pack of craft knives with the intention to kill. It just so happened that poor Emily was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was arrested at the scene. At the end of this video, I will be showing the footage of the arrest, so stick around for that. It turned out that Eltiona had a track record of violent outbursts. She was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic in 2015, and she was admitted to a psychiatric hospital after she made threats to her neighbour with a weapon. And then, in 2017, she was prescribed antipsychotic injections after her mother caught her trying to commit suicide. She tried to stop her, but Eltiona lashed out, and she stabbed her mother in the hand, and she also threatened her sister. It got so bad that they had to lock her in her room by chaining the door shut. Eltiona had claimed that her mental health had begun to decline because of the injections she had been receiving. So, she began to take tablets instead. When the police searched her flat after she killed Emily, they found a month's supply of unused medication. She had purposefully stopped taking her meds. When Eltiona spoke to a psychiatric nurse, she confessed that she knew what she was doing. She said, "I killed someone. That's the reason why I'm here. It was premeditated. I waited in the park. I picked my victim. I killed somebody. And I tried to run away." A detail which I found disturbing and infuriating is that when in the psychiatric hospital, she was seen laughing hysterically after she saw a girl on television who looked just like Emily. On the 26th of January 2021, she was sentenced to a minimum of 10 years and 8 months in prison, but only if she is deemed as safe to return to society. If not, she will spend the rest of her life in prison. I find this sentence worryingly lenient, as even if she is later deemed safe, the judge said that despite her mental illness, she retained a significant amount of responsibility. The Greater Manchester Mental Health NHS Foundation Trust, that was responsible for Eltiona's care, claimed that they concluded that Emily's killing could not have been foreseen, which I found rather convenient for them, and I have no idea how they even came to this conclusion. Emily's father has stated that he will not rest until he ensures that the woman who brutally took his child away from him is behind bars for life. And if any news comes out about her being released in the upcoming years, I will keep you all updated, as I'm sure we could all support the family and create some kind of petition. The school made a statement about the much-loved pupil, saying that Emily was fun, friendly, and a loving girl. She was creative and loved to draw and write stories. Emily was always keen to do her work and would joke that she finished her work before others had even written the date. And she was very popular amongst her peers and was friends with pretty much everyone. They said that her smile was infectious and it lit up the room. The school in which Emily went to managed to raise £11,000 to build a memorial garden in her name. During the court hearing, Emily's father's statement was read aloud. He said, "Emily was the beat in our hearts and the spring in our steps, and the reason we got up every morning. Emily was our beautiful, spirited little girl, a bundle of energy with an infectious personality. Emily loved life and had not a care in the world. How can an innocent child playing in a park be killed in such a violent, monstrous way?" I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who has helped support the channel. Thank you to my Patreons and the people who have bought the merch so far, and the people who comment and share my content too. I'm very grateful. But I need to say a big special thank you to Shane and Asher for their generosity in helping me so far. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah. Hands.
Turn over.
Take the bag down.
Wait. Let me take your bag off. Yes. Stay still. Okay.
Hands behind your back.
Thank you. Have you seen a child anywhere? Is she on the road? Right. A child's down there.
Get down there quick.
The ID from Hilo.
Yes, it's in my bag.
What is?
In my bag, ID, everything.
Go ahead. This female is now in court. She has said there's an ID in her backpack, which is by the side of her.
What's in your backpack?
ID and everything.
ID?
Yes, and the knife.
And a knife. 15. Inspector for Keeler.
Yeah, turn it around.
Right, the time now is 14:45. At this moment in time, you're under arrest on suspicion of attempted murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may be defensive. You do not mention something when questioned that you later rely on in court, and if you do so, may be given evidence. Okay? Your arrest is necessary to protect vulnerable people and to ensure a prompt and effective investigation to this offence.
Yeah.
Okay? What's your name?
Eltionas Kana. Eltionas Kana.
Okay. Where do you live? Right there. Just confirm to me what's inside your bag.
You can control. It's just no bombs, no nothing.
No
It's just
bombs.
my ID card.
ID card.
In my mom's ID card.
Yeah.
There is a knife, some water, some juice.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, that's it. So there's
That's
nothing
it.
that's going to harm
in
me,
the
no?
bag. No.
Okay.